back at the land a week later. As you can see, looking at the ground, we've had a week of warm weather with no rain, and all this sloppy mud has now started to dry out and go pretty crispy. Still got a few wet spots there, but nothing like it was. So having a look in this area, so this is settled in nice. And you can see there's still a bit of moisture that's coming through the ground there. Let's have a look, see what this looks like. So if you remember last time, I left the excavator here pinned up against the retaining wall there, trying to push that back into the hill. So if you look down here, so that's, whilst it's still soaking wet, it's kind of slumped as much as it's going to slump, I think. And this seems to have held its shape pretty well with the excavator pinning it there. I think what I'm going to do, I'll back the excavator out, see what sort of movement we get. I'm hoping that ground on the other side, even though it's wet, it's going to hold its own shape. And then I'll move the block to that end and try and push it in and put the screws in that you can see they're all there. And then I'll move the block to this side and we'll try and close that gap up that you can see. But all that's only going to work if, when I back this excavator out, I don't actually get a huge bow in the beam, sorry, because if I do, then that means the soil on the other side's still very sloppy, and yeah, I most probably need to push this back again and leave it to solidify for another week. Let's move the excavator out and see what happens. Okay, so that's held its shape pretty good. Says that the soil on the other side there is still pretty solid. I'm going to reposition that and try and push just this side in and see what I can do. That's done a good job of pushing that back together. So what I'll do now is I'll get the drill and we'll get those screws put in. Okay, so that's it done. All the deck screws are in. As you'll have seen, then once I released the pressure, there was a bit of a bow again. You can kind of see that crack in there. That's where, obviously, with the excavator, I've been pushing back and then been pushing the mud up against the back there. And as we've released the pressure from the excavator, it's sort of moved back and created that crack all the way along the edge. But hopefully, given time, this will all dry out and become an actual solid piece. So I'll have no more issues with water wanting to run down here. Over time, I think I'll just keep backfilling this slowly. Okay, so what's going to be put in here is a couple of pallets to fill this space, and then we'll have just loose firewood dropped in here. Obviously I'll be able to fill this up pretty high. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to smooth out this area. I could get in with the excavator, but to be honest, by the time I do that, I can't actually get close to this back wall with a bucket anyway. So I'll just do this by hand. Find some timber for the front now, and then this thing's done. Well, I'm going to do the offcut of that pallet. I'll take that down at 400, which will fit on the far left. And then some of these old pine posts that I've got, they're 90 deep. So I'll cut that down, and that'll be the piece to stop these flapping around. And I'll do that a couple of times, and that'll fill that whole gap. That's it, finished. So before, what I can do in the future is I can put some bigger boards in here, build it up to so high, so that I don't get any of the firewood falling out. Or if I want to use this as a compost bin, or put all the mulch in here when I'm chipping trees, get myself a big stockpile, I can use those steel pieces to create a frame and hold everything in. But I'm happy with that right now. That's pretty cool. So I've taken some dimensions. I will put a lid on this eventually, but there's no big rush right now. Shall we do that tree? And before the soil has time to dry, we're moving on to the next project. So the only thing left to do here is just to do a little bit of backfill, and I'll do that over the coming weeks and months depending on the weather. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned, because there'll be more videos coming up like this one very soon on the rural project.